Yo, E, what are your thoughts on being in the military today? I just got off the phone with my Marines Corps career planner. I have about 6 months left on contract. I was offered the chance to re-enlist in the Reserve Aviation Wing for 3 years for a $30,000 bonus. It's very tempting, but I do not trust where the nation's leaders are taking us. If we were going into what I believe to be a just war, I would be fully supportive and re-enlist without question. But that does not seem to be the case as of recently. Based on historical patterns, we will be at war within the next 3 years. I'm not sure if I want to be willing to take part in it because I'm not convinced that we would be on the right side. I'm talking it over with a lot of people right now. I figured I'd ask your thoughts too. Thanks. Office hours continued. I don't want it to seem like the money's the only reason I be doing it. I really enjoy the people and work and just the title and profession of being a modern day warrior. But I'm starting to feel more like a mercenary doing it for the benefits than a true warrior. Well, I'm happy that you use the term true warrior because the truth about the warrior is that it's always a transcendent cause. A warrior is by definition a sacrificer. And so it's his responsibility, it's his vocation to do whatever he's told. If you don't submit yourself to a higher authority as a warrior, as I'm talking about a worldly warrior, not just under pain of contract are you failing, but also in light of your vocation, and you sound like you're really called to this. When I say vocation, I'm talking about like, what did God call you to in this life? And just the way you said that last part about, being a modern day warrior, you're a warrior. So you know what you do as a warrior? You do what you're told and you just do it. And you suffer the consequences justly, right? It's not about the war being just. It's not about the leaders being just. It's about you fulfilling and executing your position as a warrior, and you can rest in peace. You gotta understand that. If you get too caught up in what's happening existentially, right? You're talking about world wars and shit like that. You don't know God's plan. I would invite you, listen, fellas, I don't want to cause any confusion. I am Catholic through and through. I love being Catholic. It tickles me that I'm Catholic. But I've read a lot of wisdom literature from many traditions, and there's value, right? To say that there's just value in the Bible, I think is silly. Make of it what you will, but there's a powerful lesson in the story of the Bhagavad Gita. This is a story from the Hindu tradition. And it's all about a warrior, Arjuna. Arjuna is a warrior who is being put into a battle that he doesn't want to be in, but he's a warrior. He's a warrior that's being commissioned to a war within his own family. Think about that. And I'm not talking just like, 20 people against 20 people. It's like nation against nation, the splitting of a family tradition, an empire, I don't know what you call it, tribe. These are hundreds or maybe thousands of people. And they were pit against each other. There's a fight within. And he does not want to go to war to kill his brother on the other side for something silly, but it's come to this. And so he begs God to send him a sign. And Krishna comes to him. And Krishna, the wise counsel in that moment, offers him insight. And a part of the insight that he offers him is that this event is way bigger than you. Way bigger than you. You think you know what's going on, but this is a cosmic battle. It's a cosmic event. This thing has been going on for thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands of years, and it will keep going on, and it's different permutations. This is the belief of the Hindus. And I don't think it's a bad idea. And it's doing this, it's doing this, it's doing this, it's doing this. So you are in the same position as a man like Arjuna. in the Bhagavad Gita, where you're called to this thing, to be this thing, warrior. And you just do what you got to do and be done. That's an archetypal way of looking at it. That's a big picture way of looking at it. I'm not saying it's an easy way to look at it. And I'm not saying fulfilling our vocation or calling or what God really wants from us in this life is ever an easy thing. Because maybe this is not what you're called to, right? You never know. But this is why you want to stay in tune. But you get some insight by looking at where you are. Look at where you're at right now. You're in this bind. Well, you were born to be in this bind, bro. So you get to figure it out, right? So, Brock, are you here? I saw you come and go. If you're here, unmute yourself. Yeah, I see you. Can you speak? No, I'm at work. Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. Maybe you could type some answers for me. Remind me, are you married? And how long have you been married? Okay, you're 4 years married and she's 6 months pregnant. Wow. So that brings us back to vocation. Another question, how old are you? "26. And you're currently in the military. You're wanting to know, should I continue for 3 more years till I'm 29 for some extra money, 30,000 bonus? And what would your alternative be? If you don't go for another 3 years, what are you going to do?" I'm in the reserves. I'm working full-time and working in the family business part-time. And so this 3 years would be for the reserves. I only go to the Marines once a month. Okay, you're not a full-time Marine. You're in the reserves. So you're working full-time in the family business part-time. What are your jobs? What's your full-time job and what's your part-time family business? Not anymore. I did 5 years active, full-time for FedEx, part-time as a personal trainer and marketing. So you got your hands full. There's a lot of potential with what you're doing right now also. 3 years for $30,000. As a personal trainer and marketing, I don't know what the potential is there for that, but you could make $30,000 in a month, not 3 years. I don't know if they even pay you a base salary or whatever it is, but they got us giving our lives for peanuts. You know what I'm saying? And so, at 26, like, you served your country. You did quite a bit already, right? And whatever would have come up, you would have done it, right? Except take that shot, right? They may have another round of shots coming out. And so right now, your primary vocation is your wife and baby on the way. So that becomes first and foremost, that becomes the most important thing. And you got to think long-term with that also too. I mean, when you signed up for the Marines as a part-time, you weren't married with babies on the way. Maybe you were married at the time, but you didn't have babies on the way. And so you're going into a new phase. You're going into a new stage of life, right? You're going to be a patriarch now. And so, my opinion is you get to put away that warrior stage, like you did it. No one can ever take that away from you or say that you didn't serve your country or that you weren't a Marine. Like, I can't say that. That's one of the things I wish I could have said, because there was a part of me that wanted to do that when I was a young man like you. I have no regrets, but that's what you were called to. And you did it, and you got it, and you served, and you're done. And so I know that the money is sort of tempting. And I know that you also say that you really enjoy the people and the work and title in the profession and being a warrior. But right now you are at a crossroads, and I would offer it up for prayer. I just give you my opinion. And of course, it's based on my experience. I would lead towards family and put that behind me, right? But that's me. For you, you're gonna offer it up. What is your primary calling? To be a father? Or to be a military man? Or a part-time military man? But they can quickly make you into more than a part-time military man. Right? There's a war. And we need good guys on the inside too. You're talking about, we're going to an unjust war. Well, you know who stops unjust wars? Militaries, right? From the inside out. Don't think that you don't have power, right? There are guys that are in the military that are doing good things from the inside out. That's where the real change is going to happen, right? That's why, I don't follow it closely. I'm familiar with the QAnon stuff, but it's a lot of what's happening in the military that's going to turn this whole damn thing around, right? There's according to QAnon, and I'm not going to get this 100% right, but there's a hidden faction of light inside the military that's going to turn it around, because most military men are like you. Most military men are like, I'm not disarming the American people. If the command comes down that you need to shoot American people and take their weapons, I'm just going to disobey orders. That's just not going to happen. I'm not going to do that. I would be on their side, right? We need guys like that on the inside, right? And I'm sure you'd be that kind of guy. So you could make that work too. I just made your problem worse, right? But I'm just playing out each side until the end, right? Maybe it would be good to stay. Right? It's only another 3 years. 3 years is nothing, right? We could be at war in the next 3 years, but you know what? We're already at war in Ukraine. And my opinion, and maybe it's just wishful thinking, is that it's not going to be a World War III. It's just not going to happen. We're just not going to go for it. There may be some destruction happens. Maybe there's some launching of weapons and bad things happen to people. But as far as a world war, it's not going to be what most people think it is. It's not going to be like us versus Russia. It's going to be American against American. As far as we're concerned, the rest of the world, Europe has its own problems. It's not even going to be American against American. America's invaded also too, the open border. So the whole idea of a world war, you're going to go over, you're going to, the way it's been done up until now, we're going to be killing other people. I don't think that that's going to be the world war. You're going to have to be killing people that are trying to invade your own country. I think America is going to be a battleground. That's how you take down America, because and that's why the borders are open, and that's why there's so much division. So, like it or not, you're going to be in a war. If things come to a head in our lifetime, the next 3 years. And I doubt it will be like you're being shipped overseas. I could be wrong. So chew on that for a little, dude. Hope that helps. Done.